Have you ever noticed how, no matter where you look in the ancient world, one legend appears again and again? It's a story told in the temples of Egypt, whispered in the jungles of Central America, and carved into the standing stones of Europe. It's the story of the giants. Were they gods, mythical heroes, or were they a forgotten species that once walked the earth alongside our ancestors? Tonight, we're opening the mystery vault to explore how civilizations, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years, all told the same impossible story. Let's start in ancient Greece. Before the famous Olympian gods like Zeus and Hera, the world was ruled by the Titans. These weren't just powerful beings, they were described as colossal figures, so immense that their battles shook the very foundations of the cosmos. They were the original rulers, the first generation of gods, whose power was legendary. Now, travel north to the icy lands of Scandinavia. Here, Norse mythology speaks of the Jötnar, or the frost giants. They weren't just mindless brutes, they were ancient, wise, and powerful beings who shaped mountains, carved out seas, and were formidable rivals to the gods of Asgard. They were seen as the primordial forces of nature itself, ancient and immense. And this theme isn't just confined to Europe. If we look at the biblical texts, we find references to the Nephilim. The book of Genesis describes them as the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, who were on the earth in those days and also afterward. They were called the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The description suggests beings of extraordinary size and strength, a hybrid race that left a powerful and intimidating mark on the early world. Now, let's cross the Atlantic to the heart of the Mayan civilization. In the dense jungles of Central America, ancient inscriptions tell of the Itzamna. These weren't just gods, they were depicted as towering, almost reptilian beings who descended from the heavens. They were credited with bringing civilization to early mankind, teaching them writing, medicine, and the calendar. The Maya saw them as their great teachers, colossal figures who laid the groundwork for their entire culture. So, here's the central question. How could so many distinct cultures, with no known contact, all describe the same type of creature? Is it just a coincidence, or is it a shared, collective memory of something real? The stories are compelling, but what about physical evidence? Around the world, we find clues that defy easy explanation. We see megalithic sites with stone blocks so massive that even our most powerful modern cranes would struggle to lift them. In Baalbek, Lebanon, lies the stone of the pregnant woman, a single carved block weighing over 1,000 tons. How did an ancient society, without modern technology, quarry, move, and place such an object? Nearby, in the foundation of the Temple of Jupiter, are 3 more stones known as the Trilithon, each weighing around 800 tons. The engineering required is simply mind-boggling. Then we go to Peru, to the incredible fortress of Sacsayhuaman. The walls are built from enormous, irregularly shaped boulders, some weighing over 100 tons. But what's truly astonishing is how they fit together. The stones are joined with such precision that you can't even slip a piece of paper, let alone a knife blade, between them. This is a level of stonework that we would find incredibly difficult to replicate today. Mainstream archaeology tells us this was all done with simple tools, manpower, and incredible patience. But could there be another explanation? Did a race of giants with their immense strength build these incredible structures? Or perhaps, as the Mayan legends suggest, did they teach early humans the advanced techniques needed to accomplish these feats? When you stand before these monuments, you can't help but wonder if the conventional explanations are telling the whole story. The trail doesn't stop there. As we move across the globe into Asia, the legends persist with remarkable consistency. In Turkey, Ancient myths speak of the Ulu Erklar, which translates to the great races. These were said to be massive beings who lived in a primordial age before a great flood wiped the world clean. These tales are deeply embedded in the region's folklore, memories of a time when the world was inhabited by giants. In India, the ancient Sanskrit texts like the Mahabharata and the Puranas are filled with stories of the Daityas. These were enormous, powerful beings, often depicted as rivals to the gods. They weren't just monsters, they were a sophisticated race born of the Earth Mother, who possessed incredible power and were eventually defeated by the gods, but never truly destroyed. Their memory lives on as a fundamental part of Hindu cosmology. Across the rest of Asia, from the mountains of China to the islands of Japan, we find echoes of the same theme. Local folklore is rich with tales of colossal mountain spirits, giant guardians, and enormous builders who shaped the landscape. The common thread in all these stories is that the giants eventually vanished. They were defeated, they went into hiding, or they were wiped out by a cataclysm. But they left their mark on the world, a legacy of impossible structures and enduring legends. It's a pattern repeated with such startling similarity that it forces us to ask, are we looking at thousands of unrelated myths, or one global memory told in different languages? Perhaps the most tantalizing and controversial part of this mystery involves what might have been found and then lost. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, newspapers in America were filled with sensational reports of enormous skeletons being unearthed. From Wisconsin to Ohio, accounts described the discovery of human-like remains that were 7, 8, or even 9 feet tall, often found in ancient burial mounds. Similar reports came from other parts of the world, like Greece and Asia. But here's where the story takes a strange turn. In many of these cases, the reports claim that institutions, sometimes identified as the Smithsonian, would arrive to collect the bones for further study, and then they were never seen or heard from again. Were these all just hoaxes? Elaborate tales spun by small-town newspapers to sell copies? That's certainly the mainstream explanation. And it's true that some were proven to be fakes, like the infamous Cardiff giant. But were they all? The sheer volume of reports from different unconnected sources is intriguing. Critics of the official narrative suggest that this wasn't just a series of hoaxes, but a systematic effort to suppress evidence. Why? Because if a race of giants was proven to exist, it would fundamentally disrupt the established theory of human evolution. It would mean rewriting everything we think we know about our own origins and the history of life on Earth. Was it a cover-up to protect the scientific status quo, or just a collection of tall tales? The missing evidence makes it impossible to say for sure, leaving us in a fog of mystery. So, what are we to make of all this? If we dismiss the idea of literal giants, what are the alternatives? Perhaps these stories weren't meant to be taken literally at all. Maybe giants were a metaphor, a way for our ancestors to describe encountering another, more advanced culture with superior technology. Or maybe they were a way of personifying the terrifying and immense forces of nature, earthquakes, volcanoes, and floods. In this view, the giants were simply memories of powerful kings, legendary warriors, or even a different species of early hominid like Neanderthals, whose robust build became exaggerated over centuries of retelling. This is the rational, scientific approach. But there's another possibility. Maybe the stories are true. Maybe, somewhere in the shadows of prehistory, a real race of giants did exist. Perhaps they were a failed evolutionary experiment, or visitors from somewhere else entirely. Their remains might be scattered and lost, their memory intentionally forbidden, or simply eroded by time. Myths and legends are powerful. They can fade, and their meanings can change, but they rarely, if ever, start from absolutely nothing. They are the echoes of our most ancient memories, from the frozen north to the jungles of the south. From the beginning of recorded history, humanity has remembered the giants. Maybe they were gods, maybe they were our ancestors, or maybe they were something else that we have no name for. The evidence is inconclusive, the legends are contradictory, and the truth remains buried under millennia of sand and speculation. But one question hangs in the air, a question that defies any simple answer. If giants never existed, why does the entire world remember them? Thanks for joining us in the Mystery Vault. If you enjoy exploring the world's greatest unsolved mysteries, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next investigation.